Come on, answer up! What are the 39 steps?
Hello and welcome back to my channel, and we're going to do a video, second one in the What Did I Think Of series, and today it's the 39 steps. The 39 steps is one of 5 books featuring Richard Hannay, a sort of self-made man who doesn't seem to do a great deal, especially at the beginning of the book. He's returned from South Africa to London and he's bored. Becomes involved with a man called Scudder, who he lets stay in his flat for about 4 nights, I think, in the book. The man is killed. Hannay obviously thinks he'll be up for the murder. He escapes disguised as a policeman. His idea is to go to Scotland for no other reason than the fact that he thinks he can hide out there without getting caught because of his time in South Africa. On the way he tries to work out what Scudder was on about, and the fact that it involves a foreign dignitary, Karolides. He comes across a lot of very helpful people who take him on his word. The book is filled with coincidences, and eventually Hannay gets back to London, discovers where the 39 steps are, and foils the plot of a foreign power. Basically, that's it.
Ask him any question.
I've got it, of course I know, Penery-Jones. All the information's inside Memory's head.
What are the 39 steps? Come on, answer up! What are the 39 steps?
39 Steps is an organization of spies, collecting information on behalf of the Foreign Office of...
In 1935, Alfred Hitchcock made a feature film, The 39 Steps, starring Robert Donat as Richard Hannay and Madeleine Carroll. This is a very good sort of innocent man on the run chase thriller. The basic outline is the same as the book, but there are several things that Hitchcock and his screenwriter Charles Bennett put into the story. A love interest for a start, which is very good. The scene where Hannay stops the train and disembarks over the Forth rail bridge, and a scene later on in an inn where Hannay and the girl are handcuffed together, and the landlady thinks they're lovers on the run and won't give them away to other people. A scene at a political meeting, and perhaps one of the most important sort of bits to the actual plot of the film is the Mr. Memory, who's going to get the secret out.
I've got it, of course I know, Penery-Jones. All the information's inside Memory's head.
A really good film. I really love this. Yeah, it doesn't age. It's a cracking piece of cinema. One of the main differences from the book, all the films follow, is in the book there are absolutely no female characters, not a one. There's no love interest. He does stay at an inn, but there's just the landlord there. There is absolutely no female characters at all, as far as I can remember, in the book. Not a one. So there we have Hitchcock's 1935 version. Quite a few years later, in 1959, we have the 39 Steps. This one is directed by Ralph Thomas. This is more of a comedy than a thriller. Its main selling point was its, the 39 Steps in colour. Kenneth More, a big star at the time, as was Robert Donat when he did his film. Although it says here based on the novel by John Buchan, I would be very surprised if they'd actually read the book, because this is basically a scene by scene rip-off from the Hitchcock film. There are things in it that aren't in the book. His escape from the railway bridge, the meeting, although this time it's not a political meeting, it's at a girls' school, and the love interest is actually one of the teachers. It's okay. I mean, even replicates the inn scene almost word for word and shot for shot even to the point of the girl taking her stockings off and Hanny putting them over the fireplace, as in the Hitchcock version. It's an okay watch. It's not one to recommend. Kenneth More is a good actor, but he's just not Richard Hanny. It doesn't grab one. Unfortunately, this DVD is formatted 4:3, although I'm pretty sure the original would have been in like 1.66 to 1 or 1.78 to 1. And then a generation later, in 1978, we have the 39 Steps, directed by Don Sharp. This is the only one that takes place at the same time frame as the book, which is pre-World War One, and this has a lot of the same characters in the book, although it does tend to veer off a bit. But we do have Scudder, who in other versions was replaced by a woman. Obviously, the trip to Scotland, a thrilling finale, which sort of inspired by Harold Lloyd's Safety Last, where you've got Richard Hanny hanging off the clock tower at Big Ben. Quite a good version. Love interest this time is Karen Dutrice, who is absolutely gorgeous. It does sag a bit in the chase across the Scottish moors, especially as it sort of you do that about twice. But altogether, probably the closest to the book, whereas in Hitchcock's version the 39 Steps is actually a spy ring. In the others, the 39 Steps does actually refer to the 39 Steps, which leads to the plotter's getaway. And then in 2008, I think it is, the BBC redid it with Rupert Penery-Jones as Richard Hanny. This is quite a good version. I think it's set between the First and the Second World War, actually. Same kind of plot outline, apart from the third act, which doesn't go back to London. It stays up in Scotland. Love interest, of course, as we're into the noughties now. She's quite a feisty young lady who not only thinks for herself, but makes sure everyone else knows about it. One scene from the book that's not replicated in any other version is where he blows a hole in the wall to get out of when he's been captured. That's quite well done. Quite a nice version. It fairly hums along. It's only about 85 minutes long. Well worth a watch. Rupert Penery-Jones makes quite a good Hanny, I should say, and I'm surprised that they didn't sort of try and make a series out of this. It is left a bit open-ended as to, it could be made a series, whereas with the Robert Powell version, ITV actually did do a series called Hanny. I think it ran for 1 or 2 seasons at least back in the early 80s, which was quite good. So there we have it, the 39 Steps. Right, in order. First up has to be Hitchcock's version, brilliant. Second up, Don Sharp's version, really, really good, thrilling. Third, the most recent, very good, if it does go off the track a bit. Fourth, it's just okay, really. And who are the best Hannies? Well, unfortunately, Kenneth More, you're at the bottom of the pile again. Although Rupert Penery-Jones does make a good Hanny, I find him a bit fey at times, so he's third. Second is Robert Powell, who turns in a very good performance and is quite believable as a character, and also went on for the TV series. But of course, the original is the best. Robert Donat. This is a great film, lots of thrills, some really good comedy in it, and it's never been beaten. So there we go, the 39 Steps. Thank you for watching.